Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Check it out. It's the Autel EVO. We are going to be setting this up today. Now, if you missed the unboxing, go ahead and check it out on my channel. I'll have it up there on the right-hand side, up there, and also down in the description, as well as where you can get the Autel EVO 2. So this is going to be a full in-depth review, flight review. Now this is the ruggedized case. If you guys missed that unboxing, go ahead and check everything that comes with it. I got this version because it has the case, of course, and it came with an extra battery for just like another $100. So anyway, I'm going to be recording my phone. We're going to record the 4K in there and also the 4K on the hat cam, so you can see everything there is to know really about this thing and how it flies initially. So anyway, let's get started with the Autel EVO 2 flight test. Okay, so this is going to be kind of a setup and flight in real time. I just want to show you guys how long it takes to set up. Now remember guys, the EVO 2 is competing directly with like the Mavic 2 line, Mavic Pro 2, possibly even the Skydio 2, because this one has all those cameras on it for obstacle avoidance and tracking, right? So this one is just the 8K version. Let's go ahead and take this gimbal cover off. There we go. They also have that Pro version with the 6K, more professional camera with a larger sensor. Then they also have that like infrared version, the thermal version that you can get. You can swap out the camera if you wanted to get those extra cameras, but we're going to start with this one, see how this one flies and everything. So first things first, let's go ahead and just undo the legs. So with this one, you want to do the front first, then the rear here. Beautiful day, by the way. It's only about, I want to say, a couple miles per hour coming from this direction. So I'm just going to grab one of these. These are two fully charged batteries. So if we run out of time for the first battery and we didn't finish all the functions, we'll go ahead and throw in that second battery and make sure we go through everything. There's cameras all around this thing, so just want to make sure they're kind of clean. That one's already clean on the front. We're going to set this guy down and let's boot it up. Getting out the controller here. Get the antennas up. This is kind of like those Mavic controllers where it's mini and then it has the handles that come out, although you are mounting your phone right here. I have mounted my iPad, large iPad on here, and you just need to get like one of those 3D printed extenders. Anyway, so my phone is an Android. This is the Android 6T phone, and this one uses that USB-C type connection, so I'm getting the USB-C type of cable out of the case, and then all we do is we plug it into the bottom here. And that was one of the things that was a little bit disappointing to me in the unboxing, was this seems like exactly the same controller as the Autel EVO 1. I didn't see any difference whatsoever as far as the form and function of it. Okay, so I think that's all we need from this rugged box here. So even though these propellers will self-expand, I always like to just go ahead and undo the propellers just to make it a little easier for the motors. Simple little spring bracket there. Put your phone in. Now this controller is kind of cool because you can move the antennas all the way down. So for this flight, I'm going to move them all the way down like that. See how it doesn't really interfere with the phone and stuff. We'll turn on the controller. So I'm just going to press and hold. You don't have to press and hold with this one. Just press it till you hear a beep. The screen starts booting up. And then we'll power up the drone. So we're looking over at the back of the battery here, just pressing and holding. So we see the lights, and I'm just going to cruise over here in the front, and let's just watch what the camera does here. See how it's going back and forth, up and down. Just starting up its camera and gimbal. And that's it. I felt some vibration on the controller, so the controller just connected. And now we can connect up our phone. I'm going to record my phone. I'm also going to turn off my Wi-Fi and all that stuff. I'm also going to put the do not disturb on my phone too, so we don't get all these messages and stuff. Then all we do is we just plug in, of course, to this connection on the bottom of the phone. I'll have this recording on the phone. And as you can see, it just auto launched the app. And it already has an update. Wow, so there's already a new firmware update. I'm going to go ahead and do that, guys, because there we go. So I did the update initially when I got this a couple weeks ago. Resolved GPS coordinate bug. Okay, so you can see all these things. That's the reason you want to update, is because it also has some bug fixes. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I mean, I do have 2 batteries, so I want this thing to be as good as it can be for this initial flight test. So if you do want to see how this thing updates, go ahead and watch that unboxing video. I go through all of this in that video. I'll have it linked up here, also in the description. I'm just going to let this thing do its update, and I'll get back with you and we'll be ready to fly. It took exactly 20 minutes, guys. Let's just go through a compass calibration. As you can see in the menu and the flight control, let's just do start calibration, okay? So here's what it says to do. I'm gonna set the controller down a little bit away from it so I can kind of see the screen. We're gonna pick this guy up and we're gonna rotate it counterclockwise in a level plane like it's saying. And then we want to lift it so the camera's up to the sky and do another counterclockwise rotation. I'm looking at the screen and I'm holding the craft. And there we go. Compass success. Restarted one more time since we did that compass cal. And that's something you're going to want to do, is just make sure you run through all those things. Go into camera, recording the screen again. And let's get started. Pull the sticks down and in. Yeah, so see how that starts the propellers up? Let's just really quickly go ahead and see if they turn off automatically. I always like to just test this, see if they turn off. If you decide not to launch, something happens, power dies on your controller, who knows what. I usually like them to turn off like within 10 seconds. This one looks like they're just gonna keep going. So we'll just take off, not gonna auto shut off. So recording again in that 4K. And this is where you can press this takeoff button. So let's just press and hold, and take off on the controller is showing. There it goes, it's gonna launch. That was a really nice and slow launch. Pretty solid. Looks like it's only launching to, what's our height? 4 feet. See on the top of the screen there? Recording my phone screen. Only launching to 4 feet, so I'm gonna pick it up a little bit. And listen to this guy, it's really quiet. Wow, this is a really low-toned, quiet drone, guys. It is heavy, remember, but listen how quiet that is. Let's yaw a little bit over here. Now you can see the sensors I have, the sensor state on the screen, on the controller. Getting a little bit of jittery. This one's kind of interesting. You see that FPV, how it's jittery? Watch as we fly. With this one, it got better when I was doing my unboxing in the house as kind of time went on. But hey guys, anyway, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. We're gonna do a super in-depth one here, so stay tuned. It's gonna be long, but it's also gonna be very, very in-depth. So let's do a walk around so we can see how the drone looks just hovering there, how solid it is. I'm loving how quiet it is. It's just this really low air tone, not this loud buzzing sound. I'm loving that. So we'll just walk around, just see how it holds its position. Remember, it's only a couple miles per hour, variable winds right now. It's doing phenomenally well. Sensors are watching the ground and all that stuff. So it's just doing excellent. So remember, we're just in standard flight mode. Let's just see what happens, how fast it kind of turns. So I'm gonna just kind of turn it slowly. Yeah, that FPV is definitely a lot to be desired there. Do you see that? How it's really choppy in my phone. Now the video on the drone should be nice and smooth. Here's full stick to the left. That's how fast it's turning there. See it on the hat cam. So that's our yaw rate. Let's do a punch up so you guys can see this view real quick. Punching up and see how fast it gets going. 10 miles per hour. I'm looking at the phone screen on the top right. About 11 going up. Now check that video out, guys. Look at that up there. So I'm on the island of Maui here. I live in Hawaii. And this is a view from Kula. Just looking phenomenal. This is just a beautiful day today. Fantastic day. So I'm kind of tilting the gimbal up and down. So it went about 11 miles per hour going up. Let's just see how it is coming down. So full stick down. See how fast it goes down. About 7 miles per hour, 6.5, 7. And looking at that video stability, remember, I'll have that 4K up on the screen so you guys can see that. And let's just do a throttle off right now. It seemed to want to slow down right about 10 feet, and then I just let off. And you can see how quick that just stopped, and it's just holding itself. So as far as the you know, locked in feeling and everything, this thing is just phenomenal. And that's kind of how the original Evo was. So in this mode, let's just fly around. We're gonna do some fast flying and see if it drops altitude. Make sure the park's kind of clear here. Let's do full speed forward. Whoa, that was weird. Okay, yeah, it saw me. Did you see that? So we'll do an obstacle avoidance test after we do this. But first what we'll do is we'll just do some quick flying. That's full stick forward. It looks like it's maybe seeing the ground and trying to go slow. Because this is full stick forward, guys, and we're only going 3-4 miles per hour. You see that? So this is definitely not ludicrous mode. Let's do a turn here. And let's come back at us. That's the maximum I can go at 3.5 feet up. Wow. Let's see if I stand in the way. Look at that. I'm still pushing full stick forward on the stick, and it just decided to stop. So great, sensors are working. Let's turn it sideways, and let me try to ram into me sideways. So we'll go back a little bit again. And then we'll get right in its way, and we'll come to the side right into me. Let's see what it does. Seemed to want to kind of go forward there, but it did stop. I'm pushing full to the right, and the drone just will not come any closer. Let's see if I walk towards it. It's not going to go away. Okay, let's try reversing into the person or pilot, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to get it right out there in front of me and full stick back. It almost wants to try to go around me. It kind of like moved to the right a little, but then it's just fully stopped. I'm just holding the stick all the way back. So that's great. You have that full obstacle avoidance. Let's see if I put my hand above it, what happens. When my hand's directly above it. Oh, that's gonna go into my hand. I don't wanna do that. That wasn't very smart. So we'll try some more stuff when we track with that later. Let's pick it up, guys. Because this is kind of going slow. Let me see if I can go faster in this mode. I'm gonna go straight out this way towards the ocean. Full speed forward, there we go. Now we're getting some speed. Okay, now we're going 20. That's as fast as it wants to go, okay? All the while, check out that camera. Let's do a turn. Boy, that FPV is just staying choppy. Okay, so definitely a negative in my mind is this choppy FPV here. I don't know what's going on with it. But I'll have my screen up on my phone, guys, and whoa. It just stopped right there on its own. I guess maybe it saw that tree. That was weird. Saw the tree from way out there. Come on back down. Okay, so that's what we can expect. I'm pulling down. Oh, it stopped and it was going to try to land. So it's kind of like the Mavic, where if you hold down, it'll eventually try to land. But once it gets kind of close to the ground, watch, it'll just stop. Pulling down, holding down. It's kind of stopping right there, and you see my thumb on the controller. It's not going down unless I try to land it and hold down. If you watch this, then it will start to land, but I don't want to land, so I'm going to push up. So it has that great landing cancel. So remember, if you're close to the ground, it's only going to go pretty slow. All those sensors are keeping it from getting anywhere near the ground or any objects. Flying into myself again, and it's just stopping right there. Awesome. So let's see what our power is like. We got 12 volts, 82%. So let's keep going. You can see how you can press that bar on the top, and if you look at my phone screen, how it drops down, and you can see all your satellites and all of your information there. We want to go into maybe ludicrous mode. You can see here I went into the options. We got standard, it's at 22. If we click on standard again, we can choose these, right? 11 or 22. I'm gonna go into Ludicrous, okay? So just like sport mode on DJI stuff, guys, the visual is turning off. So let's get out of here, and here we go. So we aren't limited now. Wow. Yeah, this is gonna be quick. Make sure nobody's in the park here. So it's seeing the ground though, I can tell on the bottom sensors, but watch as we go forward this slow now. This is, remember, we're about 3.5 feet. Full stick forward. Yeah, it doesn't care what's in front of it now. Look at that. Looking at the video, guys, full stick forward. Watch, this thing will not avoid me. See that? It's like, no. Well, I would have hit that fence if I didn't push it up a little bit. That's in reverse. Whew. Let's see how fast it goes in Ludicrous. Straight into the countryside there. Ready? Set. Full stick forward, go. Looking at our miles per hour up on the top right. Really looking at the camera. We're getting up to, it looks like 32, 33. Okay. And that's it. Let's go turn around. Still looking at that choppy FPV. Gosh, I really hope the 4K video is much better, because that choppy FPV is very very choppy, and that's a lot to be desired there. Okay, going back around towards me. I'm at this park above, straight overhead. There we are. Okay, so Ludicrous can go about 32 to 34. Full stick forward. I'm getting some wind now from this direction, probably about 5. Okay, and let's just test these punch up speeds in Ludicrous real quick. Get it back over towards us. Here we go. So full stick up. Let's just rotate that gimbal all the way down. I'm pressing this left roller to the left. I do want to just see how it looks, even though this FPV screen is so choppy. Gosh, what's up with that? Full throttle up. Seemed like it was going slow for a second. Going about 11. That's about the same, right, guys? Remember that as the GPS mode? So about 11, and let's see how it is coming down. Full stick down, 6.5. Yeah, so same up and down speed. It's just a faster lateral speed. Gonna rotate this camera back up as we're coming down. Go ahead and keep an eye on that 4K, guys. I'll have it popping in and out, so you can see, you know, how stable it is. I am on the side of a mountain, so that's not the gimbal. That's the side of the mountain is sloping down. Gimbal's not crooked. Okay. Here, let me turn it into this fence. This fence should be perfectly level, so you can see how the gimbal is level on that fence there. So remember, Ludicrous turned all the sensors off, and if we press on Ludicrous again, oh, there it is. Okay, you see that mileage below Ludicrous? I can actually go up to 45 miles per hour. Let's try that. Should have done that initially. So I don't have any sensors, remember, in this mode, so we want to go up. Full stick forward. Let's see how fast it gets going now. Here we go. Still only going 32. Okay, I'm not sure why it's not going the 45 they claim it can. I'll turn and come back. Seems like, see, look at that. The FPV got a little bit smoother now. That's what's weird about this one, is it's just now it's smoother. Now we're going 45. You see that on the top right with the wind? Ooh, we're moving now. Let off. It's right above me. I'm gonna bring it down. Let's see if this 45 mile per hour. Okay, now we're coming down faster at like 8. Sees the ground, coming down a little slower. Ooh, that Ludicrous is funky. It's crazy fast. Okay, before we do these advanced functions, I just want to do one more Ludicrous flyby here. See how stable it is and how it stops. So here's going woo, right over the ground. We're going to let off, turn, and we're going to come straight at us, do a flyby. Wow. Yeah, that's fast. It's like you got to have a lot of room to stop. I let off right when I was at my face, and it didn't stop all the way to that fence, like 50 feet away. So need a lot of room, guys, if you're going to go fast with this thing. So let's go back into standard mode. We'll just leave it in the 22 mile per hour so we have all our sensors on. Get back out of there. And let's try to do some of these advanced tracking functions, okay guys? So what we want to do is come on up here. We were in manual flight, you see over there on this left top of the screen. Let's do a dynamic track. Okay, so we're going to have to press continue and it will cancel the recording when it goes in, I guess. The camera will keep the target in camera frame. Finish. All right, so let's try this. Of course, I'm the only one here, and I'm gonna have to track myself. Okay, cool, we got a little reticle on me already. Kind of like what other drones, I hate to say it, but they're very similar. I just pressed right on me there, and you saw how it stopped recording automatically on the right. It's not recording anymore, but it had a countdown, and now it's tracking. So I'm gonna have to remember, start recording again. See that? So don't forget to start recording. Now let's just do our track. So this is kind of a close-up track. And you remember it's remembering the distance it was from me and its height. So it's just gonna lock in there unless you do something else. Let's try to walk at it, of course. We want to test all this stuff. Walking towards it, jogging towards it. Wow, really good. And let's see if we can put it where we want to put it with the controller. I want it to go over, there we go. Yeah. So I'm holding full stick right, it's doing a slow orbit. What if I wanted to come back, go up, still tracking me good. I want to do an orbit, so I'm holding full stick right. I want it to orbit while it's kind of tracking me and I'm walking. So this is another one, of course, where you're going to have that infinity tracking ability. And this is just kind of a manual orbit, but you can do this, like say you're piloting and you're trying to track an object or a person riding a bike. There you go. Let's see if I let go and just walk right under it. I just kind of let go and it started to move on its own a little more. Cool. So it's a little bit overcast, but this is how it's dealing with just being overcast at this moment in time. It's doing pretty good, man. Cool. So what do? We can stop it. You know what? Let's see how low and stuff we can go. I always like to just push those limits. Say you wanted to get some super low shots. Aircraft has reached the minimum tracking altitude. Okay, remember the Mavic Air 2? I was able to bring it down like just a couple feet off the ground. This one needs to be 5 feet up. See, it's giving me that warning to the left, and it won't go any lower than that for safety precaution. That's because that's just over, seems like people's head. That's definitely higher than 5 feet because I'm 6 and it's above my head. So a little bit strange on the sensors there, I guess. Anyway, let's see how close we can get. Minimum tracking distance. All right. It stopped, I let go, and now it's doing its own thing by going back and forth. So let's see how it is at the maximum close and lowest distance it can possibly be. And if it can track something and if it loses it, just, at least me, just jogging. Let's see what it does. I like to just kind of do these little weird tests, just so you guys can see what's up. Juke to the right. Wow, not bad for being that close to me. Right back at it, right under it. So there you go. It'll lose you. I always like to do that just to test it, but totally lost me and it went out of its tracking. So remember, if you want a fast speed tracking drone, get that Skydio 2, because that has the beacon and it will not lose track of you. If it can't see you anymore, the beacon, the drone flies up, it goes to the beacon's coordinates and it retracks you. Cool. Whoops, I just pressed this bottom right A button. You want to be careful with those buttons. So it went out of that dynamic track, but it's still in the mode to track something. So remember guys, you can do that. Let's try a tripod track. Sorry if I'm out of breath. Looks like this one will not move. It'll just move its head. Recording again. Don't forget to record. Press the subject. 3, 2, 1. Getting ready to track. Tracking. Let's see what it does, guys. I think it's just going to be stationary. It's not going to come towards me or move around. It's just going to track with its head. Okay. Let's see how low we can go with this one. Same thing. We have a minimum altitude. Okay. So for some reason you want to say you're in the middle of a who knows what frisbee match and you have a cordoned off area for the drone, you could use this as a tripod. Just make sure nobody ran into it and it would just track, but it would just stay there. So that's kind of cool. Let's walk right under it. I'll lift it up a little bit, give it the benefit of the doubt. So let's see. Oh great, so I can position it wherever I want with this controller, but I cannot turn the head. You see this? With my left and right thumbstick. Going left and right, my left thumbstick. So let's try to go right under it and just see how good it is at tracking an object, if it'll spin. This is something that a lot of them have trouble with. I'm just gonna walk at a normal pace. No. You can see it turned around, but it still lost me. So same kind of problems these drones have, you know. Of course, if it's in moving tracking, it's not going to do that. It said fail on the bottom over there. And now the gimbal is totally downwards. So I got to pull it up myself with this little roller. Let's do that one more time. Just give it the benefit of the doubt. Still recording. I got to see how much power I have left. I have no... Okay, 11 minutes of flight time. You see that? If you don't want to press this and look at your percentage, you know what? That's my controller percent, I think. Yeah, so you want that middle time, 11 minutes right there to know how long you can fly. Let's do another one really slow. What is it going to do? Real slow. Man, it can't even retract. Okay. That's it. It fails at tripod going under. Let's stop that. Get back up and let's do some other modes. We're burning flight time. Okay, so that's what you can expect, guys. Of course, we're still kind of recording, but we want to go through all these functions. Parallel track. Now this is a good one where it won't turn the head, but it will just track you at a set distance and height, and it will just keep going and following you sideways. Go into parallel track, continue, finish. Pressing on myself there, you see how it stops recording, so you really got to remember to start again. And let's just try recording with this button on the controller. Yeah, so you can do that too. So you're following either yourself riding a bike or somebody else or doing anything. And let's walk this way. You see what it does? It just stays in this parallel motion. And it should keep the distance if I turn away. You see how it's coming at me and it's trying to maintain that distance. Turn back. Well, let's try to go forward towards it. Yeah, see, this is what drones are supposed to do in this parallel. I was having trouble with the Mavic Air 2, had issues with this. It's supposed to back up and maintain its distance, but the Mavic Air 2 is having trouble. And this one does it very well. Walk towards it, it maintains its distance. Walking left and right, it's doing really good at just tracking the subject. So if you're trying to track sports or whatever, somebody running, a boat, car, whatever, Excellent. So that's working really good. We're going to stop this, go back into these intelligent photo functions. Let's try viewpoint. I have no idea what this is. Okay, this is just kind of a press where you want it to fly on the screen. So if you look at my phone screen, I'm just going to press to the left of me over there. And you see how that's where it's going to fly to. So let's just go start. And it's defaulting at 2 miles per hour. So there you go. If you wanted to fly like that, you could just, I think DJI calls this tap fly. But this also does it. So it's trying to triangulate where that is. Let's see if it stops. It's going down, now it's going back up. Looks like it's having a little bit of trouble determining where to stop. There we go. So it went up and down, which is kind of strange. Okay, you can always press pause on the screen if you're kind of panicking out and it's still going forward. Let's see what happens, guys, since this is, remember, it has these sensors on it. Let's see what happens if we fly right into this tree here. Sorry, not much to look at, but I'm just going to tap right on that tree and continue. This one's still recording. I didn't have to re-record, remember? Looks like this one's fine. So let's see what happens when it gets to that tree if we're using this tap fly. All the sensors should be on. So I'll have that 4K up. It's a little far away from me, so my hat cam's not really going to do it justice, but let's just see if it hits this tree. All right, I have all the functions on. Wow, it's going over the tree on its own. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Okay, stop. I don't want to get into the traffic. You see how there's cars over there? That's really cool. That's kind of like an A-pass, guys. So it won't really avoid obstacles and keep going forward if you're controlling it with your sticks. You see how it'll just stop because I'm behind it? Okay, but watch this use case. I'm going to go right into myself and watch it go around me. I'm a subject in the way of its path, right? Staying here, continue. So this is the one. Let's see if it goes, flies, okay, on the side of me. See that guy? He went around me and he went back on his track after he went around me. So that works really well. Really happy with that. So it looks like it just kind of wants to keep continuing on. But I love how it just avoids obstacles. That's fantastic. Okay, so that was viewpoint. We're going to cancel viewpoint mode. Let's do an orbit. Circle patterns around a center point. We are getting low. So maybe we don't want to do this. Let's try just a return to home real quick. So let's get out of this and we'll do all the other stuff on the next battery, all right? Let's just fly out here. See what it does. See if it tells us we need to return to home. We're getting a low battery warning. Oh, there we go. So you see up on the screen it's saying aircraft will return to home. I'm just still flying forward. I'm still pushing forward. There we go. So it's turning automatically. Oops, wasn't recording. I'm gonna start recording again on that 4K, just so you know what's up. Let's see where where it lands on its return to home. I like to just see where these things will try to land. I'm gonna try to stay far away from it. Critically low battery warning, man. Give it to me to just always like push it to the last critical. So hopefully it will still do its precision landing. Let's just see. I'm not touching anything at all. I'm just gonna let it land and we'll see how close it is and then we'll pop in that next battery. Looks pretty good. I'm just hoping that critically low battery isn't throwing off its precision. Wow, very nice. Don't want to get too close to it and throw it off. Okay, now if that is not a precision, I don't know what is. That is better than any recent drone I've really done. Honestly, only about an inch off. You see that? I launched right in the middle of that hexagon and it's just barely touching the side on that side. So excellent. It stopped recording. We don't have to worry about stopping recording and losing our file. If we turn it off, it just automatically stops when it lands. Cool guys, so that was awesome. We want to do some more functions. We want to do the rest of these smart functions, and then I'm going to have it follow me through the woods here, and let's see if it hits any trees. So I'll pop in that new battery and let's do that, and that'll be the end of it. We'll do a pros and cons after that, see how this thing all did. Okay guys, new battery, and we are ready to go again. We're gonna do those finishing touches. We're gonna go up, take some pictures, and then we're gonna track it through the woods as the last thing we do, just in case it crashes. You know, we don't mess it up and can't do anything else. Remember, not only do you have your phone screen here, which I'm recording, but you also have this other screen in here. I'm not sure how easy it is for you guys to see. It's very easy for me to see, very bright. And I totally forgot, you got the percentage of your drone down here on the bottom left of this controller screen, as well as the controller battery power. So we used about 30% on all that we did with the updating and that first flight on the controller. And this is the second battery, which was, remember, the first battery I had in when I did that update, and this is already down to 93%. So we used up about 6 to 7% doing that update in the beginning. Remember, this one also does mission planning. So check it out. You can do waypoint, rectangular, or polygonal. This would be great for like mapping if you wanted to just map out a section. So say I'm just going ahead and pushing on create project, and see that there on the screen, you can actually move this around. See how I'm stretching it? And you can do this whole project and snap pictures and all kinds of stuff. If you ever wanted to do that, guys, and use this for mapping, you see how I'm just grabbing the bottom right too, and I'm expanding it or moving it around. You can always do that. So I'm just going to trash this and go back. But you see how you can do that there. You can also do polygon. Just want to show you this real fast. Okay, so I just basically pressed on the middle of the X, and you see how you can stretch all this out. So if you have a farming field or an area that you just want to do a project on, you can do this, and it does all this automatically. You see that? So up on the top right, you see how we have our square footage. It's going to take 128 pictures. So you can do this for aerial mapping photography or aerial imagery. So isn't that awesome? I think that's really amazing that you can do this straight from the Autel app. DJI and stuff, you can't do it directly from their app on their consumer drones. You have to get an aftermarket app or their more high-end commercial drones. So pretty cool. I just wanted to show that to you. We're not going to really go into that today. Here's the regular waypoint flight though. If you wanted to do waypoint flight, you can do this. If I'm just clicking on it there, you see how you have all this information here. You can go, you can have your altitude, confirm, you can plot all these points. You see how I'm just plotting points, and then each point, if I click on that point, you see how you can adjust this. I'm clicking on the flight altitude, the mile per hour. So you can adjust each point however you want. Here's an action, flyover, hover, payload action. Wow, what's that? There you go. Gimbal pitch at a certain point, and it will take a photo. Remember, the Parrot does this too. Anafi and Parrot Bebop, even the Parrot Disco do this kind of functioning. So that is really great. Heading, route, manual, custom. So really cool features to have. If you didn't already know, you can do all this stuff, waypoints and automatic picture taking, etc. with this drone. Not going to go into that today. Maybe we'll do another video on that, just that. But today is just all about the initial first flight. This time, let's just push up on the throttle. There we go. So you can also do that to take off, just like other drones. Let it sit there just for a second. We'll see how accurate it is with this manual push-up takeoff compared to that automatic takeoff we did last time when we do the return to home. So let's get up here. It's a little overcast where I'm at. Let's see if we can get out here to over these trees and take a few photos of this immaculate West Maui view here. Just kind of want to get up out of, really kind of out of audio range a little bit from everybody. And let's just take some of these photos. So I am recording and you see me touching the screen. So that's doing an exposure value adjustment on its own. You see how it's kind of changing the exposure on the screen a bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop recording up here. I just pressed it. That's taking a while to stop, okay. And now let's take some photos. So just right here, I'm just gonna click this photo button on the right top of my controller. Okay, that's taking, it puts it in photo mode and it starts taking a photo. Okay, I'm gonna tilt the camera down a bit so you guys get a feel for how this lighting is. What a beautiful day, wow. Oh yeah, guys, I totally forgot. This thing does zoom, remember? When you have this menu up, if I'm pressing it on the screen, remember you can do all of these adjustments. Check it out, there's digital zoom, you see that? So I just pushed on it. And now what I can do is just with my right roller, check this out. I can adjust my gimbal. Now I will have my screen recording so you guys can see this up on my phone screen. Just make sure that's recording, yeah. But check this out. With my right roller, I'm zooming in. Now I think after 4 times, it starts to go into like a digital zoom, so you're gonna lose resolution. But let's see how far we can really zoom in, guys, to the West Maui. This is gonna be Ma'alaia Bay. 8 times. So you see that? 7 to 8 times. So that's the maximum zoom we can do. But check it out, we can still move the gimbal around while we're zoomed in, and even the drone. You see that? There are some windmills up on the ridge of that West Maui mountain. Let's see if we move the head of the drone to the left. Yeah, so you can still move the drone all around while you are zoomed in to 8 times zoom. Let's zoom back out, and so you get a feel for how far we zoomed in there. Look at that. So that's another feature, and you don't only have to be in picture mode. We can go back into video. We can be recording our video, and we can go back into our digital zoom. So now we're recording in video, and say we want to get some zooming in while we're in video. Let's zoom into the Kahalui area. There we go. Using our right roller again, and you can see it on the screen adjusting. Look at this. So we can do all this. Let's see if we tap the screen. Yeah, we can automatically do some exposure on the screen. On the bottom of the screen, I can move this reticle around. And once you're on your function, you just push the roller in and it clicks, makes that sound, and then I can go back into my zoom. Cool, huh? Let's go back to our 1% zoom. We're gonna stop. And we definitely want to have, let's see if we have 26 minutes left remaining. Let's go back into photo, guys. So now I'm rolling the photo here. So there's our sizes. If I click in the right trigger, you see our sizes. So I like 16 by 9. This is the maximum. Whoa. Yeah, right there. This one's kind of off the screen. Can't even see that one. There, we got to drag it actually with our finger. So I like the 16 by 9. So let's try this. I'm just pressing on that roller. And let's try some photos like this. So I'm just going to be pressing the photo button on the right top of the controller. I'll have these popping up on the screen as I'm getting them. And remember, this gimbal, you can also adjust it to go higher than level elevation if you wanted to in the settings. I'm not going to do that right now, but you can. So if you wanted to get some pointed up shots. There's West Maui, and then that's Molokai over there. Or is that Lanai? No, that's Lanai over there. There's Kaho'olawe over Ulupalakua. We'll get some pictures. Let's get a photo of Haleakala. You see how the mountain just goes way up? And you see how those, let's take a picture of this. You see how those clouds are all washed out? If I click in the clouds, you see how I clicked in the clouds and everything got dark. Eventually it kind of auto exposes in the center. Say I wanted to brighten up the ground, I can either tilt the camera down or I'm pressing on the ground. Another photo. Let's do a more of a downward shot like this. Now remember, this is auto exposure, and you can adjust all of your aperture, your ISO settings, all that stuff, guys. This is a very in-depth adjustable camera. Let's get like a straight down shot. See if these jacarandas, I think they're pretty much done blooming. Yeah, there's a new playground area. Yeah, the jacarandas are all done blooming, so no more purple. But I'm just taking some photos so you guys can see those when they pop up. Okay. All right, well, enough of this. Let's get back to recording. Here's the map. I wanted to show you guys this. I totally forgot. But this has that map that it pulls in with your data connection. So if you wanted to, like, you're flying up at distance and you want to see, we're going to use this in a range test, which is coming up next. See, you got your map there. Press on the screen again, and you can also close that little map there on the top left. So lots of stuff you can do, just like other drones. Let's bring this thing on back and come down. This is full stick back and down. Keep an eye on that camera. Let's look in. Should be pretty stable, even though we're flying around a little crazy. Just turn to the left, turn to the right. Yeah, it stops really good. I'm not seeing any like wavy in the picture. You know, you guys let me know. Sorry the sun kind of went away, but you know what we want to do, guys? We want to, before we run out of too much power, let's go into our flight modes here. We never did an orbit or gesture control. So let's just try those real quick before we do this tracking in the woods. So finish. Okay, fly above center point. All right. I guess I'm just going to use myself as a center point again, like I normally do. So this is where you might want to tilt your camera all the way down, and you can adjust the speed of your camera too, guys, in the settings. Your tilt speed. That's too slow for you. So I want to get myself right in there. You can either press set on the screen there, or I can press this button on the bottom of the remote. I'm just going to press the remote. Wow, and it just glitched out. Okay, something they want to work on there. That was weird. It just like reset the whole app. So maybe don't do that. Let's try this again. Leave it to me to find problems. Okay, let's try that again. So I'm above myself. Good. Don't need to really touch the screen, but I did. Let's set A. Okay, adjust the radius. So I'll tell you what we'll do, guys, is we'll adjust the radius low and far. And let's see if it runs into a tree. How's that sound? Remember how I like to test these things? Let's get the camera back up. So it's 69 feet away. We're having that choppy camera glitchy issue again, which is kind of funny. So it should know where I am because we already set it. Let's set A again, and let's just start. See if these sensors... Oh, I got to increase to 33 feet. Okay. Let's go up. Boy, okay, so you need to go to 33 feet. Another little con here. And let's start. Let's see if the camera does anything on its own, or if we're gonna have to move the camera. Yeah, so we need to move the camera down. You see that? I'm pulling down on the camera to tilt it. Let's just let it do one revolution and see if it hits those trees over there. Could we speed it up if we wanted to by pressing the right controller button? You can see it's going 5 miles per hour. I'm not going to speed it up yet. Can we pull it back? Yes, we can. I want to see if it's going to hit that tree over there. Let's see what it does. Is it going to get close to that? Yep. Wow, it stopped. I don't know if you guys can see that on my hat cam, but it's seeing that tree with its side sensors, and it stopped. And look at it. It sees it on the left-hand side and the back. You can see the sensors on the screen. So that's great. It's not going to avoid it like that. Remember that tap fly feature? And fly around it, but it just stops. So that's cool. And then I can press pause and at least it won't hit that. Remember we tried that with the Mavic Air 2 and it just hit the tree? Because the Mavic Air 2 doesn't have any side sensors, remember? So that was awesome. We're still recording, so that kept it recording. Gesture control, let's just try this real quick. So hands up to do gestures, hands flat, take photo, or one hand. So Y, hands flat, or one hand up. Let's just try that. Okay, so it's kind of waiting for me to do something. See how it's not doing anything? So let me do both of my hands up. Supposed to be gesture control, right? How about both my hands flat? I'm waiting for it, but it's not doing anything. I don't see it doing anything. I don't see any lights beeping on it or anything, so maybe something they can work on, because I thought I was seeing all those functions correctly. Yeah. So I'm either doing it wrong as usual, or I thought I'm in the mode, it's just not doing it. Maybe we have to go in maybe into photo mode, pressing on the photo. Let's try that again. Nope, not doing anything. Okay. I'm having trouble with that mode. Sorry about that, guys. My bad if it's my bad. If it's not working, they need to... Precision flight, what's this? This is kind of like the tripod mode of flying in DJI. You see how it's just going super slow. Whoops, we forgot to start recording. Let's get back into video and let's record again. So if you wanted to get this really cinematic stuff and fly super slow in precision, there you go. Just go into precision mode. Let's see what it does here. Slowing down, sees my head. Yeah, so this one's really good. Oh, all right, decided to fly over my head because it was high enough. See how I can adjust all these in precision mode? Speed, vertical speed, rotation speed. So you can really adjust and tune those in if you wanted to, right in this precision flight mode. Okay, let's go back into manual flight. I'm gonna do a quick return to home. I'm gonna change the camera battery, and then we're gonna track it through the trees. And that will be enough for the day, okay? So this time, I'm gonna fly out there, and I'm going to hold in return to home. There we go. I just held in that home button on the controller. Let's get it to return to home, see how precise it is, change this thing in my hat cam, and then we'll go track it in the trees. I know this is a super long review as usual, but you guys will see how good this thing is at tracking in the trees, at least walk tracking. Going to also do vehicle tracking too with my 4Runner over there. Remember where we did the Skydio 2 review up on the mountain up there, going through the woods? We'll do that with this one just to see how good the sensors are tracking the vehicle going a little faster. So coming on down, I'm just gonna get away from it so it doesn't in any way affect its return to home. Looks like it's really good at adjusting and seeing that landing pad. It really does give DJI a run for its money on its precision, it seems, because look at this. Not touching anything, coming on down, 14 minutes of flight time. And same thing, just right on the edge of this hexagon. Fantastic, just an inch or two off. Okay. That time, check this out, guys, it did not shut off the video. I'm not sure why not. Remember I was saying last time? Oh no, it did. There it goes. It just takes a second. Okay, we're gonna launch again and we're gonna track it through these trees. No joke, let's do it. All right, looks like we have 13 minutes of flight time and I'm gonna track myself through the trees. So let's get at a pretty decent distance here. Kind of where the Skydio likes to track, just to give it a little bit comparison. You know, 20 feet away or so. Let's go right into our dynamic track. Okay, and of course it's going to stop recording, so I'm going to have to start recording again. clicking on myself, tracking, start really that recording again, can't forget that. And let's just walk over here. Oh good, the sun's coming out again. That's great. I was worried about that, to have like a really low light tracking. So I'm just walking around here, around this fence, and we're gonna go in these trees. All the meanwhile, this drone is gonna be just following us. And I wanna see if it's just gonna stop, if it's gonna try to go around stuff, what it does. So here we go. Coming through these low-hanging trees. What's it gonna do? All right, it's coming down. Wow. Really? That's great. Whoa, watch out for that tree trunk. That was cool. Hey man, that you know what had trouble with that was, remember the Mavic Pro 2 had trouble going under trees and tree branches. Look at this thing. What's it gonna do? I'm going around this tree. Awesome. Decided to go out that way. It's using all of its sensors. Remember, this thing has like 360-degree sensors. It got close to the ground that time. I'm not doing anything, guys. I'm just holding my controller up just like this without touching anything. Let's go around this tree and see what it decides to do. What's it gonna do? What's it gonna do? Ooh, lost track. Will it retrack? Ooh, it wants to. Ah. Okay, there's a limitation, remember? Right there was a limitation. Let's see if it'll keep recording. Yes. See how it deals with this. Is it gonna come under this tree? Good. Big giant branch it came under. All right, I'm gonna run up through these trees right here. Let's see what it does. Ready? See what this thing does. Total Skydio comparison. Even right through here. What's it gonna do? Oh, nice. Okay, well, I'm impressed. I thought it might have hit some branches or something, but it's using that complete tracking. Nice, man. So that's pretty cool. The only thing is, can we do an orbit while we're doing this? Right? Again, I'm not touching anything. It's doing all this on its own. It's adjusting its altitude. I'm going down the hill now. And it is bringing itself lower. All right, well, cool. Let's try this. I'm gonna use my right thumbstick and try to start to do an orbit to that way, to the right. So I'm just holding my right stick. No, see? Okay, there's a limitation. You can't do that. Once I let off the stick, now it's coming closer again. Okay, good to know. I'm gonna stop it right here. And real quick, stop. Let's try this parallel track and see if it has the same functions. Of course, it's gonna stop its recording. I want to get it parallel where I want it to be. Okay, so I'm gonna have it grow right here, so it's kind of in these trees and whatnot. Right there, so it has to go like through these trees. And we're gonna start recording. Now let's see what it does. Okay, see this tree? Let's see how it deals with this tree. Wow, nice. Okay, it's gonna go right into that tree trunk. What's it gonna do? It's going low. Okay, it totally avoided that tree trunk. Trying to maintain parallel. Let's see what it does with this tree. Not bad at all, guys. Okay, now check this out. I'm gonna go this way, still in parallel mode, run straight through these trees, see what it does. Yeah, it's trying, dude. Whoa, 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 what you gonna do? Man, it almost hit those little branches, but it didn't. Awesome. It's trying, it's trying. Wow, this thing is really doing pretty good. Behind this tree. Okay, sticks and trees and whatnot. I'm gonna run kind of toward it. Whew. Okay, it resorted to going behind me. Now let's see if it tries to get back to the right. It sure is. Wow. It's really trying to maintain this parallel. So you see what it did is, since I turned to the right, it knew what position it was away from me, even though I'm going in a different direction. So it tried to get back to that locked in compass heading that I was, and it did it. See how it's still just fixed in that position? And it's just gonna follow me. This is the parallel. Talk about unreal. That was great. So definitely it does give Skydio a hard rub, except for its ability to retrack if it loses you. And that's what the Skydio is going to be great with that beacon. For the end of this, we'll go up, recording, and I'm just going to fly either gimbal back up. I'm just going to fly that straight that way as far as I can until it tells us to return home. So this is a little, nope, there it goes. I was going to say a little mini range test, but it already wants to come back because we're low on power. Okay, third return to home is the charm. So, boy, sorry I'm out of breath, but that was just fantastic testing. Through those trees, through the leaves, we had some little low-hanging just leaves and tiny little branches. It was able to see all that. I didn't hear one little propeller nick on any of that stuff. So last test we'll do for the day is a third return to home, checking the accuracy. But exactly what is it doing? I thought it was going to return to home. It seemed to have stopped up there. Let's press return to home again. Where in the world is it? Oh boy, don't fail me now, drone. Why is it freaking stuck? Cancel? Pardon my French. But for some reason it's just cruising right over there above the road. That was really weird. Let's try that again. I just canceled out of it. It should be coming up to that park up there. Let's try to press return to home one more time. Low battery warning. Okay, there we go. Back and return to home. Okay, that was kind of strange, guys. You might want to think about that. Remember, it was just, I was letting it do its automatic return to home, and it was coming back, and then I just decided to cruise over there next to the road down there, which is really worrisome. Because I do have it set to return to home on loss of connection or low battery percentage. Okay, this one's a little strange. Why is it so far away from the home point? Maybe that tracking threw it off. Look at this, it's way the heck over there. So note to self, when you do tracking and avoidance, you may throw this thing off a little bit. I'm not sure why it wants to land right there. If that's where it wants to land, I'm gonna push up. And did that just cancel? Yeah, so it's critically low. So fail on the last return to home, even though we do have critical low battery. We'll just get it over this landing pad. Kind of manually land it there. Yeah, so we only have 1 minute and 40 seconds. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that really long review and test flight of the Autel EVO 2. That was super fun for me. Let me turn this stuff off and let's go through a pros and cons. Okay, guys, well, there you have it. That was my initial pretty in-depth maiden flight test of Autel EVO 2. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, this is going to be the pros and cons. We did have 2 batteries of flight. We did even that update that took about 7% of our second battery. We still were able to do a bunch of flying and test out most of the functions. The only ones I didn't really test were, remember, those waypoint functions. I did show them on the screen, showed you guys what you could do. Really cool how you can adjust the camera, do your flight routes, tell the camera when you want to take pictures and at what level. So really cool in-app flight functions. One of the things that really impressed me was its ability to track. The only downfall with these image-only tracking drones is when it does lose you, it's not going to really be able to retrack you. Something that maybe even DJI does better is if it does lose you behind a tree, those are able to retrack you. This one seemed like if it did lose you behind a tree, even though it saw you, it wouldn't automatically retrack. So that's definitely a negative there. But you can see how, since it does have all these sensors all the way around it, it did exceptionally well at going through the trees, avoiding even the most minuscule little branches and leaves. Didn't even nick or hit one of those. So very impressed with that. The orbit function was very good. Orbiting, if it does come in contact with a tree, it will stop. That kind of tap fly function that other drones have, really cool how you could just tap the fly through a tree. It will see it. Remember, we tried it over here. It will see the tree and it will actually go around it and it will continue on its route. So pretty darn cool, man. I will have had the 4K 30 footage up. Remember, this one does 8K. I'm not even really going to be using that at this point, but that 8K does allow you, if you're in that mode and you're recording video or pictures, what that's going to be great for is zooming in. You saw how we tested that zoom in. We could do an 8 times zoom in. Well, I've had that up on the screen so you guys could see the resolution on that. Now keep in mind, I'm not doing any post-processing on this. This is all just how it comes out in the recording on the SD cards. I don't do any post-processing, especially on my reviews. If I do some, cinematic footage, I might add a little color here or there, some saturation, but I do not do anything post-processing on when I do my reviews. We didn't do a range test yet, but that's going to be the next couple of videos. We are going to, probably from this park or the one below, we are going to do my infamous range test where we just take it out towards Wailea as far as we can go and just see how far we can fly it, how the connection is while I record the screen. You guys can see that high resolution video as we just fly miles out. And I would assume that this one is going to get further than the original EVO. The original EVO was pretty neck and neck with the Mavic 1. So I'd imagine this is going to be very similar and possibly neck and neck with the Mavic 2. So we're going to definitely see that and see how far it gets in the next couple of videos. So stay tuned, guys. Remember, all of the products I review down in the description down below. And then the video series is also down there, and the whole series of videos, and it will also be popped up here. So anyway, really hope you guys enjoyed that. I know it was a long review, but we went through a lot of stuff. And I think if you're going to buy a product like this and spend this much money, this is up in the same price ballpark as the Mavic 2 drones, you're going to want to see how this thing flies and every aspect of it before you drop that much money on a product like this. And that's what I'm here to do. That's what my channel does mainly, is just give you no frills, honest reviews on this kind of stuff that you're going to be paying a lot of money for and trying to have fun while we're doing it. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.